Yeah,
It's
that
pretty
one's just
fucked
more of a
up.
really sad topic. There's not like an update or anything to this situation as of today. I mean, maybe there will be by the time the episode comes out, but as of right now, I believe her friends have confirmed that she's like safe and away from the guy, but not
Want to give a brief
positive.
rundown to people who haven't heard?
Yeah, on stream, Amaranth was just playing games. She was already like 6 hours deep into a stream, and then she had to step away. I believe it was around 2 hours where she stepped away because her husband had called to argue. And then she comes back, it's still muted. And then I guess he must have said something really alarming because she unmutes during the call so people can hear it. And the first thing she asks is, "Why did you say you're going to kill my dogs?" So then the rest of the argument is broadcast on stream, and the guy is yelling and screaming, making no sense at all. He's just completely unhinged. And she's obviously very upset and crying about it. And he then makes threats about like burning the empire down by going on her Twitter and making some fake tweets about some shit. He apparently has access to all her accounts because they switched the two-factor over to his phone. And he also made a series of texts because she wasn't texting him fast enough at TwitchCon, where he was just starting to like burn all of their money by donating it, by using like expiring investment options and crypto, just burning all of it
That was
because
my favorite part, by the way. By favorite, I mean cringiest. He threatened her by saying that I will lose all of our money in crypto unless you answer me right now, which is what kind of a fucking 2022 threat is that? I will buy Dogecoin, bitch.
yeah, the guy
Yeah.
is
What a fucking...
completely unhinged. And then she also showed some of the stuff he's done around the house. Like he kicked in her door because she locked herself behind it one time. She also was talking about how he got physical and took her phones away because she tried calling the cops. She had also apparently recorded other incidents, and he broke her computer in response. So like it's just an actual terrible situation, just
Yeah.
I'm gonna read
legitimate
some of
abuse.
these texts here. By the way, he texts like he's not lucid in these texts at all.
No,
Like he's either super fucking drunk or on crack or something because he's
no, the guy is
misspelling half the
unhinged.
shit. Very manic. Next time when I
Dangerous.
say apply and do it, son fuck, dumb fuck, do you understand? Fuck you, get the fuck outside, I'm calling you, don't care. And in between she barely even replies, and then she stops replying, she goes,
She said
he
she
goes, last
turned her phone
chance.
off.
Yeah, her
I'm
phone
about to
died.
dump your luggage. I'm throwing your stupid merch off the balcony, proceeding to ditch your stuff. You don't need the makeup or the live, you or the clothes guy, huh? Deleting socials media in 1 month. Minute. Buying options that expire and blasting the cash. I'm about to shut down the real work bank account too and just instant gibbet. Lag is terrible, the stream is garbage.
I don't get how that was incomprehensible. I understood everything.
Yeah.
I know.
Very clear and concise that he's going to buy options, burn it, crypto, stream terrible lag. Duh.
Yeah, also, I think another thing that's worth mentioning. Oh, actually, if you're reading the text, Kai, just continue because he starts making like the horse threats in the text.
Horse threats?
Yeah, it's
I don't
just
know if this in this video. So it says, if no call, 35,000 gone, 34,000 gone. Gonna donate 250,000 to Paulo Macy. Next 2 minutes, 250,000 gone. I will donate 500,000 in 3 minutes. If no call in 1 minute, I will absolutely make sure Karen goes to Meatpacking House. Meatpacking House. I guess
that's
that's
one
the
of her
dog.
horses. So
Oh, the horse.
For context, Amaranth is a very, very big horse enthusiast. She has horses that she like takes
As all
care of
women.
and raises. Yeah, and he was making threats not only against her dogs but against her horses about
Oh, what
sending
the
them. Yeah,
fuck?
20 seconds, time's up, 250,000 gone. We now cannot do down payment for Call House. Another 250,000 in 5 minutes.
What the
I'm
fuck?
I'm about to tweet about you swatting. What?
so that's in the call in the VOD. So his plan. So
Swatting
he,
me. Oh.
Yeah, so his plan was he was going to make a series of fake tweets on her account about, I'm her husband and I'm telling you right now she's been making fake abuse claims against me with the police and swatting me and that kind of shit to try and like ruin her reputation or like take away her career, and then was also going to get her OnlyFans banned as well because he has access to that. So his whole thing was because she wasn't texting back quick enough, he was just going to destroy everything she had, including her animals.
This
Do we
guy's
know
on
who this-
something.
Well, he's a piece of shit, obviously.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit on something. Like, he can barely. What I'm trying to say is that half of these texts are so misspelled that
Yeah, no,
I wonder if he would
absolutely
even remember
Rage
these.
typing.
I absolutely think
Yeah,
he's on
maybe.
something as well. When you listen to the phone call, the amount of like screeching he does, like it's Xbox Live, is crazy. And the whole argument, by the way, is
Is it
because
this video?
it's a VOD. It's like an hour that they spend arguing.
Would it
on
be
the phone.
safe to play it? I don't. Maybe
Yeah,
It's
not.
it's just
Yeah,
kind of
it's kind of long
Hmm.
because. Hang on.
Ugh.
Literally.
I don't want to.
Yeah, it's not like a fun listening
Yeah, this
thing.
isn't
No,
funny.
not at all.
Yeah.
No, so
Yeah, there's nothing funny about this.
I watched the whole VOD. You're not going to believe me when I tell you what this whole thing was about. This guy is so unhinged. This is all about a conversation they had earlier that day where they were talking and she didn't hear his question. So when he was waiting for her response, she said, "Oh, you didn't ask me anything." And he fucking freaked out because he thought it was her calling him crazy. So this whole thing carried on.
So he turned crazy
Yep,
from
so
being cool.
This man is a
Okay.
legitimate lunatic. It's because she didn't hear his fucking question.
Well, like he's a narcissistic abuser,
Yeah.
so anything would have set him off. That's
True.
just that's how that is. Like if that's what happened because of that, imagine all the other times like something slightly, worse. He would have been a nightmare, like an absolute
Oh, no doubt.
piece of shit scumbag all the time.
No doubt. This whole blow up was over something that small. He was in the process of typing up those tweets to like ruin her career and ban her OnlyFans, all over not hearing his fucking question from earlier that morning. It is mind-boggling.
Fucking yeah. What's gonna happen? Like this guy needs to. This is a textbook case of domestic abuse, so something needs
Get
to happen
divorced.
there.
Yeah,
Well, no,
I would.
I think something actually needs to happen.
No. So here's my guess. I think Amouranth unmuting while live. People get this story so fucked. They think she went live to do this, so they're like, "Oh, why would you go live and air this out?" That isn't what happened. She was literally already streaming. He came in and did this, and then she just unmuted when she felt like unsafe or the dogs felt unsafe. And she had already tried gathering evidence off stream, so doing it publicly, I think, gives her like a very good case against him to finally actually pursue action,
Yeah, I
because
think
he had
that's
already
good.
destroyed the other evidence in the past. So my guess would be going forward, maybe she pursues some type of well, obviously I think a divorce. I think that's pretty clear. But I think even further beyond that, I think hopefully she'll pursue like charges as well because of the shit that she was showing and talking about. Like it's legitimate abuse. Like it's not like
Genuinely,
it's not like a case
Get a
of
restraining
it's just-
order.
yeah, a restraining order or something. It's not like a case of, oh, he just looks bad here. We need to hear his side. In the VOD, he gives his entire side. That's how I know exactly what this conversation and this argument was about. Like he is unhinged and dangerous to be around.
How long
and he
is the
doesn't.
VOD?
she
I'm
had
kinda
she
curious
had
now.
she
It's
showed
about
the
an hour.
evidence.
Hour and a half.
She showed
that-
the evidence of the messages that he like. What is it? Those like financial blackmail or financial threat.
Yeah.
That is domestic violence. That's enough.
I'm gonna
That
put
should
our
be
money
enough.
into crypto. The lamest, like.
Yeah.
What a fucking dork.
Another thing that's worth
Goddamn
mentioning. Another thing worth mentioning. He takes credit for everything. So on that VOD, she mentions how they had talked about splitting, but he was under the impression that the only amicable split would be she keeps $1 million and he keeps everything else because he believed it was all his money that he worked
What
for.
is he smoking? Holy shit!
So in that argument, like in the phone call, she's like, "But you know, we used my body to build this empire," and he's like, "Oh, so now you're taking credit for my work." Like he is
Oh my God.
No, he is completely.
That's a disgusting phrase about someone else's
he
body.
He is
oh my God.
completely off his rocker. The man is nuts.
But not only is it a disgusting comment on her body, like ownership and such, but also like, what has he done? He used his wife for financial gain, I assume. She might not.
Jackson, you don't pay attention on the show, do you? Obviously, he has asked questions that weren't heard. Duh.
His voice falls on deaf ears.
Yeah,
Jackson.
he's contributing so much. It's just she doesn't hear him.
So apparently he just saw himself as a cyber pimp, right? He said,
Yeah.
okay, don't ever tell anyone that we're married. You're supposed to be single, so we're gonna farm your simps on Twitch, and I'm gonna run your OnlyFans and your bank accounts and your Twitter, and you're gonna do bathtub
his
streams
work.
now.
Yeah, his work is making her go do all the photo shoots, sit on Twitch streams for 8 hours, and while he sits back drinking a margarita or something, watching the bank account tick over.
Probably drinking a speedball.
What would he be doing?
That is his contribution. And there's one more fucked up thing in the VOD that no one else has mentioned. The way he was going to pursue, I believe, and this is going off memory, it was a pretty long VOD. During that talk where he was like, I'm getting your OnlyFans banned, he was talking about pursuing charges against her because he appeared in one of her OnlyFans pieces of content, and he said, I never signed a waiver. You never made me sign a waiver. I can take you to court for this. Even though it was his idea to do the content in the first place. So the man has completely lost it. He's threatening her on every possible front, everywhere.
Do you think Amouranth, what's the outcome of this? Do you think she'll stay online?
Yeah, so I think eventually, once everything settles down, I think she will come back. I mean, because before him, she was still a streamer, right? Like,
Okay.
She has been streaming for a very long time.
Yeah, I didn't know the history. I didn't know if he like coerced her into the Twitch lifestyle.
He makes her do those crazy hours, and he made her do the hot tub stuff, apparently, according to the call and everything, and the shit he's taking credit for. So I'm assuming when she comes back, it'll be more like whatever streams she used to do, whatever content she wants to do. If, assuming she gets away from this guy, which hopefully.
She should also be able to get her accounts back, though, at least some of them. Like, if she's on OnlyFans, I'm no fan of the site, but as far as I know, you're supposed to upload ID and whatnot, and if the account is in her name, she should be able to contact support and say, the same procedure when you get hacked. Like, hey, somebody else has my login, my passwords, can you just reset all the shit? Here's proof I'm me. And get it back from him. Right?
Yeah, I think there's no way he gets to keep the accounts. I think Amouranth absolutely gets all of those back. It's just a matter of how messy that's going to be, because I believe also towards the end of that VOD, she mentions that the bank accounts he also took over, like in terms of the information. Apparently they had a security breach, and then they switched everything to his info. Which almost sounds like an inside job,
but
to put it in his name.
The login or the account information to him.
That's still vague. Like? Still vague, don't know.
Yeah, because if it's just the login information, that really doesn't matter. You can just walk into any store of your bank and have them reset your shit if you show up in person.
Well, again, you guys gotta also remember they're married, so there are entitlements legally. We don't know how this split will end up. Even if he is a piece of shit, there might be some things where he's like, I'm entitled to this because I'm her husband, or we set this thing up together. I don't know how it'll shake out, but it's not like it's her boyfriend, and so he can just fuck off. There's legal precedence.
I thought the court system was pretty favorable to women, and I think when you factor in the domestic abuse and violence here, which is pretty clear cut, I think that will go in her favor in the court system as well.
Right.
But,
hopefully it works out the best for her it possibly can. But unfortunately, the fact that they're legally married is going to make this a lot more complicated than if they were just in a relationship.
I think the most important thing is, though, that she obviously gets away from him. That's obvious. And I think her life is going to drastically change after that in terms of her own happiness as soon as she gets away from this guy. That's going to be a big thing. I don't even think, yeah,
she won't lose any money on crypto.
She should pay him $4,000 to stay married to her, and then he'll want to walk from that lowball offer.
Yeah, that's
oh my god, how fucking hysterical.
The old Bayonetta strat, yeah.
If he ended up having to pay alimony, that would be so fucking funny.
I wonder what he does. So on that argument, like the phone call, the man is yelling and screaming. I'm imagining he was in his car. I think he even mentioned something about it. But like, I wonder what he does on a day to day. I'm very curious because I'm assuming just mooches off of Amaranth. Like, I can't imagine he actually even has a
sounds
job.
like his job.
But
it's not a job.
Yeah, but like, even if it was like his full-time position, what does he do besides just give her a stream schedule and force her to do it? He's not even like...
he probably doesn't
Maybe
need to do
brand
anything
deals.
because Amouranth makes a shitload of money. So if
Yeah,
his
true.
job is to mooch off of her, he doesn't need for anything. She's going to provide
Okay.
everything.
It could be stuff like brand deals as well, even though I doubt that, considering what he sounds like. But
Yeah, I
it
don't
could
think
be.
so. She also doesn't really do a ton of brand deals anyway. She doesn't need to. She makes like $2 million a month from Twitch and OnlyFans. Like, I just don't think he does anything. Like, he just...
That's
to
another
make the
thing, by the way.
photos.
Like, she makes so much money. Even if the guy has her bank account, like, okay, let's say she gets divorced and loses half her shit. It's worth it. It's fine. Get rid of him. You'll make it
Yeah,
back in
I
a
agree.
month.
Yeah,
It's worth the price just to get rid of
That's
him.
what I was saying.
The only
That's
argument
what
you
the
could
most
make
important
against
thing
that is spite. Like, okay, I understand if you don't want him to have any of your money, that I get, but if
Well, yeah,
it's
it
just
is a
not
pretty
worth the
hard pill
trouble-
to swallow, giving your abuser
So,
like a lot
hang
of
on.
money.
Yeah, it's also
Yeah.
not this simple. Like,